Hi, I'm Lance Dreer, and I'd like to welcome everybody here to the beautiful Arizona weather and invite you, our listener and our viewer here, to join us on a new weight loss program called Skinny Mind, Leaner Body. And what makes this so different is, one, you can sign up by going to either my Facebook, or you can do this online or send us an email, and we'll talk about that later. And we want to talk about why people have a problem keeping weight off. Anybody can lose weight, anybody. All you've got to do is stick on a diet, all right? And since the beginning of weight loss has started, which goes back hundreds of years ago, people have had a hard time keeping weight off. You've had the low-carb diet, you had the Atkins diet, you had the Orange diet, okay, you had the South Beach diet, you had the Zone diet, you had the Cotton Ball diet, you have the Nutrisystem diet, the Weight Watchers diet. Any diet people can lose weight on. The problem is most people don't keep the weight off. They don't keep the weight off because they delude themselves. They aren't honest to themselves when it comes to what they really eat. So our program, Skinny Mind, Leaner Body, helps us deal with those issues, the issues of delusion, so that we can develop new habits, new rituals to help us deal with our delusions. So once and for all, once we get the weight off, whatever diet you choose to follow, we have our own choice. We'll talk about that later as well. So once you get that weight off, you finally keep it off. Now, in all the years I've been doing this, people have a tendency to have a misunderstanding of actually how foods really work. And when we look at foods in general, so you can make the correct decision for yourself, and how foods affect weight gain and how foods affect maintenance of weight loss, you need to understand how those foods actually act within the body. When we look at foods in general, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, carbohydrates and proteins provide you with 4 calories of energy per gram, whereas fats provide us with 9 calories. So you would think that by cutting your fat down, that you'd lose weight because you're cutting your calories down. That'll work if you cut your food volume down as well. When we look at your carbohydrates, we have to understand that the carbohydrates and the pH factor of food are the major components to people gaining weight and then not keeping it off once they lose it. Carbohydrates, besides providing you with 4 calories of energy per gram, also have an effect on blood sugar, which has an effect on blood insulin. And when insulin goes up, contrary to what anybody wants to tell you, you don't burn fat for fuel. You burn only sugars. Protein provides you with the same number of calories, but protein doesn't have the same effect on raising blood insulin. So subsequently, when your insulin doesn't go up, you'll burn the fat easier. And fat, contrary to what most nutritionists want you to believe, if you ate pure fat, if you had a stick of butter, okay, or you use a bottle of canola oil or olive oil, and that's all you would eat a day, you would not gain weight, even though you have a lot of calories in your diet, because you get no blood sugar reaction, no insulin reaction from eating that fat. So whatever diet you choose to follow, understand the biggest link to weight gain is going to be the carbohydrate component in the diet. And when people are put on diets, whether it be a lower calorie intake, a lower carb intake, all right, even on a lower calorie intake, by virtue of taking lower calories, you take in less carbohydrates. And when you eat a low-carb diet, you restrict certain types of foods from your diet for periods of time, okay, and that keeps your blood sugar down and subsequently weight loss. So when you're looking at this as a big picture, all right, again, it gets back to the same thing. Any diet causes weight loss. The key is to keep it off. And that's where we get to the delusion factor, all right? Now, I've been working with people for many, many years, and I find what works best for people during the process of weight loss and during the process of weight maintenance is to face the issues, face the delusions that they have every day when it comes to their diet. One is, I don't eat too much. I mean, this is a common problem with most people. Well, I don't eat too much. So when you talk with an individual, you find out they eat way more than they actually need. Or I don't drink too much. And then when you question them, you find out what that is. Well, how often do you drink? Well, I have a glass of wine every couple days. And then when you really sit and have a discussion with them, what they're really doing is having wine every day or any type of alcoholic beverage more than one glass. So getting that person to face that issue or whatever may be their barrier helps that person realize that maybe if they change some of the rituals that led to them eating too much food or drinking too much, would help that person develop a new lifestyle so once and for all they keep weight off. So developing new rituals would be a good idea for people if they want to maintain that weight loss. So we have to change their belief system. That's where we get the skinny mind, leaner body. Because you can't have a leaner body unless you have a skinny mind. Because everything starts in the head. Our vision of how we look, the concept of what we eat, the understanding of how foods act, okay, our perceptions of ourselves, the role of exercise, all these things are all components of weight loss maintenance. And I've been doing this for over 35 years, even though I'm in my 20s. 55 in June. Whenever I embark on some form of a new lifestyle program for a person, the first thing they try to do to pick up the pace for their weight loss is they pick up their exercise. And I'm telling you, the people that are watching this video, that using exercise for weight reduction is a waste of your time. Exercise is great for your fitness. It helps with weight maintenance, but if you're trying to exercise weight off, you're wasting your time. That's why most people, 9 out of 10 people who start an exercise routine, a program, within 90 days quit because the main objective of the program is for weight loss. And when they don't see it on a scale like they anticipated they would, they quit. And again, the key here is to teach people once and for all how to keep weight off once they get the weight off. And again, skinnier mind, what's in here, leaner body. Skinnier mind, leaner body. Deal with how foods act in the body, deal with delusions, those things that get in the way of us making these changes, develop new rituals. Understand that exercise is not the main component of weight loss, that exercise should be done because it's good for you. It makes you healthier. It's a detox. It's alkalizing, which we'll talk about at some other time. It does those things. But for weight loss, you're wasting your time. The amount of time you'd have to spend exercising would be hours, and most of us don't have that time. You need to understand that. So again, deal with delusions, develop new rituals, understand how foods act in our body, and understand the component of exercise. If you are able to do these things, make those necessary ritualistic changes, get off the delusion factor, be honest with yourself once and for all, one time only, you'll get weight off and you'll keep it off, and I guarantee that. Skinny mind, leaner body. Skinny mind, leaner body. You're probably wondering how you can get involved in this. First off, it's free. Go to Facebook, go to my name, sign up as my friend, and then what I want you to do is I want you to list what your personal delusions are. Again, this is free. What your personal delusions are, I will respond to those, try to help you through some of those. Okay, and then every week we'll come up with a new video that has to do with keeping the weight off and even instructing you how to get the weight off, okay? So remember, Skinny Mind, Leaner Body, Facebook, Lance Dreher, D-R-E-H-E-R, Lance Dreher, D-R-E-H-E-R, sign up as my friend, list your delusions, and I want you to be 100% honest with yourself. What do you do to delude yourself when it comes to you and what you eat? You and your activity, how you feel about those things. Not hard to do, and it's free. See you on Facebook.